Hey guys, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, you know, do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Without you guys, man, I go crazy. All right, so I thought I was doing a live stream on this channel. Turns out I did it on the other channel. You guys know I have a couple of channels, and I thought I was uploading because I was basically doing all my live streams on this channel and the other channel basically for updates and stuff. So I ended up going on live there for about an hour. And thank everybody who joined in. Thank everybody for the super chats and stuff. I appreciate that. But what we're talking about is what's being rumored to be happening in Dallas. That Jon Kitna is going to probably be hired to be the the quarterback coach for the Cowboys. He's had some experience, of course, in the NFL, and he's had experience as high school coach, and I believe he was going to be one of the new league's coaches as well. So he's got some experience, and I dare say he's got more experience than Kellen Moore did as far as being a quarterback coach. So maybe he's the guy to help Dak Prescott with his mechanics. Because, like I was talking about in the live stream over there, that's one of the things that we got to work on with Dak Prescott. He's got abilities, but you need somebody to hone those skills and to make them really, really good. And maybe Jon Kitna's the guy to do it. Now, the other part of the equation is Kellen Moore may become technically the offensive coordinator, which, when you start thinking about him and Dak Prescott and everything that transpired with them on the field, that you didn't really see that great an interaction, at least from our vantage point of the time that we saw them on the sidelines. That doesn't mean that's the actual case, but it's just what we saw in limited roles. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how well that works. But the reality is this. In the same way that Kellen Moore was the quarterback coach for the Cowboys, I don't know that he was truly the be-all, end-all, and complete control of the quarterback. I believe he basically was an assistant to Scott Linehan. And so Linehan would basically tell him what he wanted related to Dak Prescott or the quarterbacks, and that was what was going. It wasn't like he had complete autonomy to everything that is the quarterback situation. And I believe, hopefully you guys can still hear me good while I'm standing aside, I believe what's going to happen is Jason Garrett has now put himself on Front Street. I think this is a plan hatched by Stephen Jones. I think Stephen Jones really wants to win the Super Bowl, and I think Stephen Jones is not satisfied. I don't know if he's thinking about Jerry's mortality, and he wants him to be winning the Super Bowl again, because when he said a statement like Jerry would give up his gold jacket for another ring, that should tell you a whole lot about how important it is to see him host that Lombardi again, and how important that is. And I think Stephen Jones took it as Jason Garrett was satisfied with mediocrity. That just because we made it to the playoffs, that he was okay, we're good, that we don't need to change things. And I think this is going to be Jason Garrett's swan song, that you're going to be the guy in charge. You're going to be the play caller. And if the Cowboys win, great, you're our guy. If they don't, you're out of here. That this is the last chance. And it's going to be interesting because I bet you this is what happens. You know, they reported that Jason Garrett's going to get a long-term extension. I'm betting it's like this. I bet it's a one-year extension. Because you kind of have to, you can't have a coach go into the season on the last year of his deal. it truly makes you a lame duck. And there's no franchise tagging a coach. And I think we've gotten subtle hints about the possibilities or the Cowboys thinking differently. When Jerry says something like, Jason would be, if he was out on the streets there, he'd get 5 or 6 offers. I think in a way that was them saying, anybody want this guy? Because we may be done with him. I may be wrong. And again, what do I know? I'm a guy here working a day job on a Sunday, conference championship Sunday. So I could be wrong. But I'm beginning to have this feeling that it's not all kumbaya between Stephen Jones and Jason Garrett. And that if the Cowboys don't succeed soon, that this may be it. This may be Jason Garrett's last opportunity. You got a young team. You got a franchise running back. You're going to have a franchise quarterback, whether you believe in him or not. You got young talent on the defense. And you've got a coach on the defensive side now in Chris Richard who can make this defense a really good defense. And then if you could add a piece or two here and have a bit of luck, that I guarantee there's some coaches out there that can make this a Super Bowl team. There's coaches out there with lesser talent that are making the Super Bowl. So I think that's where this is. So when you start looking at Jon Kitna coming in, that is a Garrett kind of guy. He's been in the system. He's played in the system that Garrett wants to install. And so he could teach Dak the subtleties of it, having sat behind Tony Romo for years in the same system. So it's not going to be foreign to him. It's not something different. You got Kellen Moore, who may be calling the plays, or at least trying to coach it, who's been in the same system underneath Scott Linehan. But I think what we'll see is, we'll see this offense evolve somewhat and open up the playbook more, where it's going to be more on Dak to take it up to another level and be more, shall I say, Tony Romo-like going down the field. So my initial reaction was shock in figuring out how do they think that Kellen Moore can be the offensive coordinator when we didn't do a great job as a quarterback coach. And that's when I started putting together, with the help of you guys during the live stream, that it really isn't Kellen Moore who's the guy who's going to be making the play calling. It's Jason Garrett. It's Jason Garrett whose ass is in the sling now. That the Cowboys are putting him on blast. That this is the last hurrah, Jason. So I'd like to know what you guys think. And I tell you, here's the thing that I'm thinking. We don't know what we don't know. And I know we're all thinking that there's no way in the world, that Kellen Moore can do a good job as offensive coordinator. But think about Sean McVay. He came from the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins. One of the youngest coaches hired. And look what he ended up doing with the Rams. Did anybody out there think that Sean McVay would have taken over a team that was 4-12 after having a coach that coached in a Super Bowl, and Mike Fisher, although Mike Fisher you could definitely say was overrated. But did anybody think that Sean McVay was going to take the Rams and immediately turn them around and make them a winning team, a playoff team the next year? Did anybody think that he was going to be able to take that team the next year when everybody thought it was just going to be defense that was going to have them win? And it turned around and it's the offensive side of the ball that is winning the games and stuff for him? I bet not. Did people believe in him? I know I didn't see that coming. So, we don't know what we don't know. And for all we know, Kellen Moore might be the next Sean McVay. Am I crazy? Probably. But you don't know. So looks like you've been out of shape right now. Because, well, ain't nothing we can do about it right now. And we won't know for about a year whether or not it's going to work. And that's too long to be worrying about it. There we go. Hot dog. That being said, guys, sorry about this damn autofocus. Just keeps doing that. We'll have to see what we're going to see, guys. But as always, thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. See you soon.